So welcome to my allotment. Today I'm going to be planting my garlic. It's around the middle of October and now is prime time to get your garlic in. I'm going to be showing you what garlic I'm growing and also how I'm going to be planting it and what you can expect. So if you've not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you could please do so, because you'll get lots of helpful hints and tips all throughout the year from my home garden, my allotment, and also from time to time my home kitchen. Now, I plant garlic every year around this time. From experience of when I was planting it at different times, it didn't grow as well. So in Kent, about October time, I know some people in colder climates plant it in September, but you must get it in October, because if you don't, the bulbs won't swell out and do what you need them to do, and you'll end up with smaller bulbs. Whereas if you get them in now, you've got much a better chance of them growing to a decent size garlic bulb, and that's what we're all after really at the end of the day, decent garlic for us to eat for the coming year. So the two varieties that I've chosen this year, and I've got to be honest, I haven't got favourites. I do love to try different types. I've got these types, Germador and Sativum Casablanca. So I just thought they looked like nice varieties and they had a good write-up on the back. It says to plant between September and December on here, so I thought these would be perfect for me. So your garlic is normally ready around June time. So to prepare the ground, I've dug the ground over, I've raked it over so it's nice and level. I also firmed it down a little bit because where I dug it, it was quite lumpy bumpy, so we raked it and then we trod it over a little bit and then we re-raked it so that it's a nice level ground to put our garlics in. You'll need a straight edge of some sort, so whether it's 2 sticks and a bit of string, or whether it's like me, an old piece of decking that we don't need. So you make sure you plant them in a straight line. We all think we can plant them in a straight line and we never ever do. Even with a plank and a bit of string, I find I sometimes go off course. So I'm going to show you how you need to plant them. A dibber is really handy to have, but not essential, just in case you get a slightly tougher bit of ground, and just to ease the bulbs in gently, because one of the mistakes I see people making is they don't push the bulbs down far enough. So I'm going to start off with the Germador. First of all, and the first thing you need to do is you need to break the bulb up. So this is quite often the fiddliest bit, if I'm honest. Honestly, it's coming apart really easily. Sometimes they can be a little bit tough, so I do warn you, they don't all break up as easy as this. Sometimes I have to stop the camera when I've done this in the past to break the bulb, but we've got a really willing bulb today. So we break it all up into all the, because all these separate, this bulb obviously is made up of lots of cloves, and each one of those will form a whole garlic, oh, got a live one there, a whole garlic bulb by June next year. Now this one's looking really promising because it's really shooting already, so it's absolutely raring to go, the Germador is, so that's a really good sign. The bulb itself is sensing that it needs to come out. Now you need to plant them 6 inches apart, which if you haven't got a ruler, it's probably about half a ruler, if you can imagine it, or about, say, about half your foot length, or a small hand in between each one, because obviously you want to be able to hoe round it. If you don't spread them out enough, they won't grow properly. It would encourage disease, and you just need to spread them out evenly. So if you've got any stones, obviously remove any stones out the way. So you just gently dibber into the ground. It's so ridiculously easy, and you just drop it in. Like that, really easy. So what you're doing is you're pushing the clove down so that it's on the level of the soil, so it's not protruding up and it's not sunk down deep, it's literally the level of the clove. There we go. So if we say that's about 6 inches, gently, yeah, I can feel a bit of resistance with that one, so it was worth having the dibber. I don't just push them straight into the ground, because if the ground was a little bit hard, it could damage the bulb as you push it in. Now obviously I've been doing this years, so I know the bottom bit of the bulb is the bit that goes in the ground. It's really easy with this one because this one's sprouting, but when you get these, obviously not all of them are being quite so helpful. So if you had it like that, the pointed bit goes at the top and the flatter bit goes at the bottom, and you just pop it in like so. The really great thing about growing overwintering garlic, and if you put it in October, is that it is an incredibly reliable crop, generally speaking. It's very low maintenance. It actually really loves the cold weather, which is another plus as well. So it actually needs a frost to help the bulbs split. So you don't have to worry about covering it. Your biggest predator is probably the birds when you first put them in. So just keep an eye on them. And if you see one suddenly missing, it might just be across, because they won't actually take it or eat it. They'll just nip it out the ground. So just soon after you've put them in, just keep an eye that nothing lifts them out. Or if you're particularly concerned, you could temporarily have some netting over it. Generally they're fine, but occasionally I've put a whole load of garlic out and the birds have come around. It's as if they're playing a game and taking it all out the ground. So it's incredibly easy. So I'm going to carry on doing this, and I'll come back when I'm almost done, so you don't have to watch me doing all of it. So all the garlics are in, if you can just take a look, so they're evenly spread out, pushed in. I generally don't water them in because the ground is very moist already and we are expecting rain. They will just water themselves in, but you could do if you wanted to. Like I said, all you need to do is basically just keep them weed free, really. And because the winter's coming, they don't get that weedy, to be fair. So it's a really, really easy crop to be doing, and it's definitely if I was only going to do one crop in October or over the winter, garlic would definitely be it, because it's just so incredibly easy. Like I said, we will put a link in the description if you can't get your hands on some garlic bulbs, but most garden centres do have them. And also a dibber is really useful, not only for this, but for lots and lots of other jobs as well. It does make life a heck of a lot easier to have a dibber. So we will put a link on the description if you want to get yourself a dibber. Now, I'd love to hear what you're doing, if you've got any special varieties of garlic that you grow, or anything that you're sowing in October. And if you've got any questions or comments, then please do let us know.